everybody. Welcome to our podcast. We are the Great Hall. Today, we are joined by
Nick Stock,
Yuri Kanitsky,
Jonathan Arcee,
and Dylan Silva.
and we're going to be talking about heroism in our drama unit, English class, period 2. So, what did you guys do for your essays?
Oh, on Hamlet, yeah. I took a sympathetic approach where some kind of that he's a lost and emotional kid, and that's the reason why he's all like kind of like suicidal and like a little sporadic in his actions.
I went in the exact opposite area of you. I said that Hamlet was a sociopath.
Oh,
from the beginning.
From the beginning.
From the beginning.
From the beginning.
He's smart though.
He's completely
really
smart.
important.
He's calculating.
If you're a sociopath and you're like stupid, you're not really a sociopath.
No, but he was smart. He was cold and calculating the entire time. At least that's how I read it.
Was he though? He had a
I don't know. I felt like he needed this like quest in order to live, and that's
Yeah.
why he like
That's the
prolonged
thing,
it
though,
so
eh?
long. And he's like super depressed like the whole time.
Yeah.
My whole essay, it wasn't really about it, but one of the main things I was really thinking about was, okay, so suicide, in an easy equation, is suffering with no meaning, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're all suffering, right? And we're also all trying to find meaning, right? It's like, why am I doing this? What's the point of going through all this, right? And I almost think that Hamlet was a search for meaning, and he was trying to like make this his meaning, but I really don't think it was. I don't think he was meant to kill Claudius.
Yeah.
I don't think he wanted to. I don't think it was meant for that to happen. I think he was trying to find that in himself. He was like, is this really what I want to do? Like, do I really want to kill this guy for like whatever reason?
I don't think he ever questioned it that much, but it definitely seemed like he didn't want to think about
He's
finding
just so
another
lost.
meaning.
Yeah,
He's lost. He had this one thing. He's like, I'm gonna follow this to the end, and led to his death.
Yeah.
He liked the self-pity he gave himself, I feel like. Like
loved
he
it, man.
yeah.
I don't know. And I don't, honestly, he's not a hero for shit. I don't care.
No,
He isn't. He isn't a hero for anything.
It depends on your
I thought
definition
it
of a
was
hero.
crazy. You know what? Here's the thing, though. Okay, I'm gonna get into this right now. Here's the thing. For there to be a hero, there has to be a villain. And can you definitively say that Claudius was? You can't even lie about that.
Well, why does it
How
have to be a
can you
villain?
have
Why does it have to be a villain though?
How can you have a hero
Why
without a
does
villain?
there have to be a villain though?
Because you have to fight for something.
For something, but doesn't mean it has to
It
be a person.
depends on your definition of a hero.
Okay, yeah.
But that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. My definition requires a villain.
Mm-hmm.
You need a villain.
Or just
And
an
it's
antagonist.
explained-
I feel like you need something to go against or something
yeah.
to
Yeah, but
not-
that's to me that's what a villain is, and it's not even like a person insinuating it, but it's just something to provocative.
And but technically Hamlet does have the villain then, because that would be
Yeah.
what's
But then
going
what
on in
is
his
it?
life.
But
right?
then what is it?
To
His-
me, like,
Can you tell me what it is?
The
To
incest
me,
in his family.
well, yes, but to me, Hamlet was the villain. The hero was not Claudius. It was Ophelia's brother. What was his name?
Oh yes, okay.
I would never understand that, to be honest with you guys.
The only
I-
reason is
I
he's
see
going.
that.
He sees Hamlet. As
I
this
see
demon.
Fortinbras more as a hero because he's the one just like bringing
He's doing
normality,
his own thing.
right?
He's doing his own thing.
But
Yeah, but he's like taking. He's the whole point of it. He's taking over
He's not
everything.
really
And like look
in the
at
story.
look at Denmark. Look how like
Yeah.
corrupt and gross it is there, right? And he's just taking over, like pretty much fixing everything, just by the fact that he's there now.
He's not,
Yeah.
fixing
He's not in the
anything, though.
story.
But he's but
No,
but
He's not much
but-
in the story.
So
But the
I
reason
can't really
that
put him in the
Fortinbras-
plot.
I don't know.
But
I would say I wouldn't say
I wouldn't call him the hero. I'd
Ophelia's
call
brother.
him the
What was his
solution.
name?
okay. Here's the thing.
I don't think
though.
he's the hero.
The
either,
reason
'cause he brings
Fortinbras
revenge,
they were
right?
doing what they were doing was because people took their shit. You know what I mean? They took their stuff. They're not like, oh, I want to fix the world.
That's-
Fortinbras is completely selfish, right? And it's not a bad thing. We can be selfish and that's okay,
It's good in a ruler,
right? But they're doing
Not
their-
like
they're
Trump,
not like
but
I wouldn't say they're being heroes because they're doing what they want to do for them. They're a hero to their own, like, you know, wherever they live.
what about
What do you guys-
Horatio?
Hold up. What do you think about
He's the
Verity?
closest thing to
Verity.
okay. In my
Yeah.
sense of the word,
I,
I would say Horatio's the closest thing
Well,
to a hero
yeah.
because to me a hero is like a very selfless person that doesn't do things for himself but for others and for the general good. I don't think anyone in Hamlet was doing
Does that
something
mean
for
you
the
call,
general of the people,
Does that
right?
mean you'd call Hamlet or brother so and so the anti-hero?
I get well. Okay, that's the thing.
Verities?
Hero is such
That's the name.
Yeah, that's
hero
what
is such
you
a
said.
dynamic word. It really depends on what kind of hero you're talking about. Like he's a tragic hero. If you go by that definition, absolutely he's a hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Like
That's true.
it really depends.
I just think Claudius, you know, like he obviously wants Hamlet gone. Like he even
Yeah.
sends the guys to like take him to like England and like basically slaughter him. So to me, he's a villain. Like just from that, like I see it like more in the text.
But
He's
then
a
again-
very moral villain because what he did is completely immorally wrong. He killed his brother and had sex with his wife.
Yeah.
Like,
So like
Very-
there's nothing.
very
It's
demonic.
like-
it's easily
that's
in the
pretty
text.
bad, right?
But at the same time, he was the most truthful, and he was the most faithful. He was the most faithful person of that month.
He was the most honest to
Right?
himself.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, here's the thing though. Like, I think to a certain point, you should be lying.
Yeah.
Why would you tell the people, oh, I slept with
My
what's her
sister.
name? I slept with my brother's wife, and then I married her
Because like
Yeah,
it's
well,
just to be the king.
That's it. He
That, like,
had to
happened
lie
a lot.
about that.
He should, and I
common
think
sense.
that politically wise, that has to happen.
Yeah.
And I think no matter what, wherever you are, there's a certain point where you should be lying to protect your people. I don't think that's wrong at all. There's a certain point where you should, but there's certain times where you can't. Like,
It's a fine line, though. It's a very
you
fine
know,
line.
the thing with 9/11, right?
Okay.
I wanted to say it in the class, but there was a podcast with Joe Rogan and Snowden. If any of you guys saw it, Snowden admitted that the FBI and the CIA, first of all, they were very separate agencies, and one of the main causes for 9/11 was they both knew the information, but it was a fight for like
get
money.
into it.
Yeah, and almost like who's gonna say it? You know what I mean? Who's gonna say it? But they both knew, but who's gonna say it? And he admitted that they knew. They knew. It was already like they knew about it, but nobody said anything, and it happened. And it's in the podcast. Snowden said it, right? You bring it up, whatever. Put that little clip in it. It's kind of long, but if you can find it, he said it, and it's true. And I think that's really true. But at that point, it's not even about lying. You know, that's like a little competition sort of thing. But like, you know, if you look at that, that's kind of
Yeah,
ridiculous.
okay.
Alright, in those situations, you kind of have to lie because who's gonna come out like, yeah, I did this horrible thing. Forgive me,
That's
though.
what I mean. No, that's
right?
what I'm
Like,
saying.
you
I
have
agree.
to. I don't know. I feel like a good person is someone who lives in their life in a way they don't have to lie, right? Like they have to lie because they did
Yeah.
these horrible things. But
So
if
in
you
a
never
perfect
did those horrible
world,
things, you wouldn't have
politicians
to
don't
ever lie.
exist.
Yes.
Okay.
In a perfect world, politicians don't exist.
Only one ruler.
Well,
Oh man, you need
Only
some
one
leaders.
ruler.
Yeah.
Fuck a
What is a
politics,
politician though? What is a politician? Like for real? Is anybody? Can anybody like tell me like for everyone watching?
a
like,
good
what's-
liar.
what really is a politician? Like actually.
Bringing it back to the hero concept, can any politician be a hero?
But what
Yeah.
I'm asking, I'm
Yeah, just
asking,
like a
Can
JFK.
Well, okay,
Abe
I'm asking
Lincoln.
But
what
as
other
a people,
politician-
they weren't seen as heroes.
A politician
right?
can be a hero. Depends on the politician. So what is a politician? I feel like that's kind of like a symbol, not a symbol, but like a person that embodies an idea that you want to follow,
Okay,
right?
But
I like that.
those ideas are hate based.
Yeah.
I like that.
Then what?
Trump. That's one. You know, well, he's
Go
not
back
really
even
hate based.
more.
It's more like stay away from everyone.
Yeah.
As the only American at this podcast, I'm just gonna say it right now. Not my president. I have to. We're gonna
Well-
keep on bringing him up.
Okay.
That's a I don't know. That's a difficult subject because it's like
Yes, it is.
for politicians.
well,
Well-
yeah, that
Well,
Trump.
what do you guys feel about like the divide in Canada right now?
Which divide?
I think people are
From, from
okay.
Quebec
That's-
and us,
that's
or
my
from
general
the,
consensus.
from the north of us, from
Yeah.
the south of us. Which one?
I had a conversation with Mr.
Freitas?
In my period 3. I don't want to say the teacher's name, but I was talking about like, okay, how can you what do you really call a democratic country? Like, what do you really call it?
We're not a
Because
democratic country.
You know how like it's conservatives won votes, right? And a lot of people now are forced to be liberals, right?
Yeah, just because of Toronto.
I can see it and I can understand it, but I really strongly feel like that's really unfair. And I almost feel bad for them. I do feel bad for them because, look, I didn't really look into it. I don't know too much about Alberta, what's going on with their oil situation, us taking their money. I don't really know what's going on there. But I can say, if somebody was using me for like my resources, and now I'm forced to follow under like a government that I don't like a prime minister I don't like, I would be pretty upset.
yeah,
I'd be
white
pretty
collar
upset.
slaves.
Right?
Yeah.
That's just, I think that's kind of ridiculous. And Quebec, I don't know what's going on with them. I really don't. If they really, like, I'm not trying to say, like, oh, if they want to leave, they can leave. I kinda
It's
see
like
it.
a fight for the face of Canada because Canada's not the face. Like, we're so
No,
blank.
we're
Yeah.
not, we're not a face.
Not that
Exactly.
face
That's what I
around.
feel like.
We don't
That's
have-
the
we don't have
huge
something that
divide.
holds
Like, what are
us
we?
together.
We have
As
influences
a
from the
Canadian
state,
citizen,
influences
what are we
from
following?
the
Yeah.
UK.
It's terrible.
From freaking Russia, from
everywhere.
Alaska to us, yeah, everywhere.
It's ridiculous.
We don't have an
See,
identity.
the states
Yeah,
has an identity because you know they're the American dream, right? Whether it's true or not, we can debate that forever, which whatever. But they believe that, they say that a lot, right?
We are the greatest country in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We don't have
Exactly.
that
American
in the
dream
world.
thing,
We don't
yeah.
have that though. That's the thing, right? We don't have a thing that we can say, oh, we are this.
Here's what I'll say. I can literally say this from experience. I don't care what anybody says in the whole world. I don't care what any Torontonian says about the diversity of Canada. I think it's ridiculous. I'm being honest with you, I think it's completely ridiculous.
No way.
And I'll say this. When I went to Vietnam, right? We're all Vietnamese. There's not like whites. There's not like, there's not like black people there. We're all Vietnamese. We're all Asians, right? I'm not saying we're all friends. But I'm not saying that we hate each other. And I'm not saying
you
that
have
we're
a
not...
sense for your country.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that we
Yeah.
don't talk with each other, like neighbor to neighbor, across the street.
That's natural. Though. I think we all.
That's normal,
We
yeah.
all feel comfortable with
And that's
faces
the
are
thing,
familiar.
Yeah.
And the thing is, in Canada,
We don't have that.
I'm not trying to say that we're priding ourselves to be diverse, but I almost think that our diversity leads us to separation. And like a pretty bad separation.
On
too.
top of that, like most of the world of the Western world that's diverse, so Europe, America, here, our diversity is only in the big urban centers.
Yeah.
You go to some place up north of North
It's more
Bay.
advertisement, to be
communities.
honest. We're pushing this like
I've never
commercial,
been-
like,
Yeah.
oh, we're
I've never
diverse.
been-
Come
to
here, come
us,
here.
yeah.
I've been to Quebec. I didn't really notice anything like too many like white people, let's say. But I've never been to anything outside. I wouldn't know. I really
You
wouldn't
just
know.
They don't like
country
you a lot. I went to Montreal, and most part, the ones who they can speak English, they're all right. But then you go into a
They're kind of
store.
angry though, eh? They're pretty
Yeah,
angry.
they're kind of angry,
pretty
especially
angry
when they come in. You come into their store and they barely speak English, and you're trying to order something, and you don't speak French.
They're pretty
They give you such
Yeah.
bad looks.
Yeah.
Let's live in Toronto, it's just a different experience.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
well, even
Toronto's
even,
so separate from.
But even in Toronto,
Yeah.
people, if you're not from the same culture, they'll still get like,
Yeah.
people will be angry.
Yeah.
They'll still be very angry.
That's
Like,
true.
I've been to some Caribbean restaurants where like the cashiers will be like, "What do you want to eat?"
Yeah.
And it's not even like their culture. Like, I'll see him talking with like someone like an African American. They're like, "Oh yeah, hey, what's up?" But then for me, it's just like, "What do you want?" Okay, wait, and I'll take a little bit longer. And
Until
do
you're like
feel
a regular
also-
customer, only then will
Right.
they start treating you well.
And I can probably say, if all of you guys 100% been to a Vietnamese restaurant,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you guys get treated like shit, because Vietnamese don't do that. We don't
Yeah,
treat people like
yeah,
shit.
Treated differently.
But let's say if I was there and I was speaking Vietnamese, bro,
They
I'll get like
don't
a
They
free
seem- yeah.
bowl
Same
noodles,
thing with
man.
They seem happy.
Completely
Yeah.
unrelated. Do you want to go to pho with me after this?
You want to go? We can go. I don't know. There's no good. I'll be honest with you. All the pho spots here are shit. They're so bad. They're so bad.
How would we people know?
Yes, how would
this?
we know?
I tell you,
I just like
they're
soup
so
and
bad.
noodles.
That's so bad.
Well, the thing
That's
is,
why, bro. Our taxes should go into noodles.
Yes, I would pay those taxes
Pound Express.
just to have noodles. I love noodles.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, the
Okay.
States is like they have land and they have a lot of people, right? So it's not like there's many little separate communities all kind of together.
I don't want to cut you off. I
Yeah.
really don't.
Oh, we're getting
But
off
I
on
want
that
to talk
topic.
with Raisin in the Sun now. I want to move on.
I feel like Walter is actually the only true hero in this whole unit. Because the ending. It's the
So he
only
didn't-
time he's a
he
true
didn't-
hero.
He didn't want to sell the house.
Because I feel like it's
I-
then
I
he
think that's a
realized
little
that he
selfish.
shouldn't.
That was
Because
selfish.
the whole
No,
time,
no.
the
That
whole
ties
time
in
he was
with
being
the
selfish, but at the
long
end
period.
he became selfless. He didn't sell the house not for himself, but for the dignity of his family,
Because the family's all that.
especially his son.
I mean,
The family's
the
all
only-
he had left, and he wanted them to love him and care.
well, no,
That's-
at that he was at such a low point. He was ready to sell it, but then Mama was like, "No, make Travis stay, make Travis watch what you're about to do." And at that point, he realized, like, "No, I can't do this. Like, for the sake of the dignity of my family, I can't."
Well, he could have just
I-
lied to Travis then if he sold the house. When he just sold the house, oh, it's okay, we don't want to sell
Yeah, but
the
he
bigger
didn't.
house.
my thing is,
That's the thing.
it had to happen. Because if they do not leave, they will always have this stigma in the family that we had a chance to get out of this, but we didn't take it.
Yeah.
So I think they had to leave. I don't think that makes him a hero. I think it was inevitable.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
hero
They need
because
to
it
get
was
out.
his choice at that point. Because he could have easily been like, "No, I want the money."
But I see Walter. He's still growing. He's
Yeah.
growing up to his father. His mom. So mama was showing him the way.
He's not
leading him
perfect
still.
hero.
Dude, I will say this,
I will
though.
accept that he's not perfect, but he is a hero.
I
I wanted to see Walter get his ass like handed to him by his mom.
I
And
would love
and
to.
It's not a selfish
Yeah.
thing. It's not a selfish thing, because the reason I would see that play is because I want to see how can a mother portray like that type of, because we've all been like not beaten but like like slapped in the face, right? Everybody has by their parents, whatever. But I want to see like what goes on, especially because like he's an old guy. You know what I mean? Like probably like
30s, I think.
yeah,
it was?
30s, mid-30s maybe, right? I want to see like what would your mother do to you at that age when you're 30 and he's strong, he's
Are
a
you
well-built
kidding us?
man.
I see it every time I
would
go
you-
see my family in the
Yeah,
States.
you-
my
what would
little
happen?
grandma about 5'2", and my uncle is about 5'9". Highest one, tallest one I think is 5'11". And what did you do this time, mijo? And then you just see all these guys.
Yeah.
You see the guy. You see my uncle who's in the
they
military.
jump.
My uncle in the Air Force. My
Yeah,
uncle
scared.
who's police, LAPD police. My uncle who's aerospace engineer. Yes, mom. Yes,
You know what
Mom.
the key thing
It's
is?
not physical power. It's like social power
And
in
you
the
know,
household.
I know the biggest,
hierarchy, right?
the biggest key thing is it's respect.
Yeah.
It's respect, and it's just like it's respect. And okay, here's the thing: if Walter knew, if he knew in his soul as a 35-year-old man, because bro, we're all men. If you knew like you were right, and someone was about to hit you, even your own mother, right? You're gonna go to your mother and be like, "You fuck off." You know what I mean? Like, you will.
It depends on the
If
person.
you know, if you
Yeah.
know that you're right, if you know that you're
Depends
right,
on the person.
I'm serious. Like I'm saying, because the passion that he has in that play, if he knew he was right, he knew he was wrong. He messed up really badly, right? He messed up terribly for what he did, right? That's ridiculous what he did, in my opinion. But if he knew, you know, in that play, I just want to see his humility, and him like, okay, I respect you, mother. I know what I did is wrong, and I want to be kind of punished for it in a way.
Yeah, that's where the modern hero comes in, because like he was willing, I guess. to
He
put
shows
his
a
life
lot of
down.
humility in that play,
Mm.
100%.
I feel like he wouldn't have like been humble about it. He would just, if he wanted to just say "fuck you, mom," I know what I'm doing. It's part of my language. He would have just said that and left the bar when they
But he
first.
knew this wrong. That's what I mean. He knew
Yeah.
did something wrong, obviously. And I like that. I think that that's really relatable to a lot of people. How I think there is a difference.
That's why maybe,
Between-
like, a lot of people like relate to this play more than like Hamlet.
The thing is,
Yeah.
there is a big difference between I like being timid and being accepting,
Mm-hmm.
because timid people are not accepting, you know, or they're a little too
Yeah.
accepting. You know,
Well, timid people, it's more like they don't want to be accepting, but they're so
Yeah.
weak they're just like,
right?
Right, so then I'll take it, I guess.
Walter shows humility. He's not timid at all.
I like the concept.
I will say this though, in my opinion, looking at him, he's really stupid.
Yes.
He's
Yes.
not smart.
It was mom
And
was
it's kind
controlling
of
the whole
sad.
time.
It's
think
kind of
about it.
sad.
yeah.
It's kind of sad because he is the man of the house and he has to provide for his son.
Yeah.
And he's not that smart, right? And I'm not saying that in a rude way. He really just isn't that intelligent of a human being, right?
He didn't think things through. He just dreamed. and
Yeah,
hoped for
he
the
just
best.
he
So
wanted,
technically
and that's
Mom
I think that's one of the
the
worst things
hero?
you can have. I think one of the worst things you can have is blind faith.
Because she
I
was
mean,
control. Technically, anything
Given
good
the-
he did.
Given the
she could-
definition of a modern hero, trying to live up to this sense
Yeah.
of self, you could say that almost anyone in that family is the hero.
That's true.
Even the kid.
Well,
I feel like
even him, kind of. He
I
wanted
don't-
he wanted to run routes to get money. Remember
yeah,
that?
he wanted to
He wanted
fight
to help
himself.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Benita was not a hero. She was very selfish. Even though she's very educated, very nice, polite, but she wasn't that polite.
That means nothing to me.
but she
Education means nothing to me.
Mm.
I will say that.
She wanted to.
Yeah.
Didn't she want to like go to Africa?
Yeah. She wanted
yeah.
to live in,
She's not a hero. She's
wanted
just
to
her
leave
own
family.
person.
Definitely,
Sorry.
but, like-
I think Mama is.
The hero. Like,
She's selfless. She's doing it for the family. She's the closest
She
thing to a
guided
hero.
She's a little strict and a little.
That's good though.
That's
a little,
good.
a little
That's
too
good.
she's-
controlling.
Yeah, no,
Walter
you
needs
know,
her.
like those, like what's it called, off the boat kind of parents.
Mm.
Yeah.
You can see her being that. I can see that, and I can see being a son and being upset at
I mean,
that.
actually, if you think about it, she was, because didn't she mention when I was a kid we
Yeah,
were
yeah.
trying to just not be slaves or something along that line?
Yeah.
We're just trying to be free.
Yeah,
Ma-
there's
Mama-
a little bias in it. Honestly,
Yeah.
there really you can say that there is a little bias in how Mama will be, just because you know
She's
Yeah.
like in her mind.
Older
I've been
than
through so much
Yeah.
that I know more than you.
That's the thing, and honestly, that I don't see that as too terrible, but you should really like force it. sometimes.
It's her flaws.
Well,
Yeah.
Mama's
She's-
been through a lot, right? She has the universe owes me. She wants to fight that rough water.
She
She
bought the house without telling anyone.
no, she didn't think that you
she,
know the
she
whole
deserves. She
One house without
feels
telling
like
anyone.
she deserves
That's
it, and
true.
therefore the family deserves it because she fought through all this shit, all this stuff, so she gets what she wants.
But who are-
Walter's the kind who wants to be impaled by arrows. So you know what? Whatever you want to make me your slave, I will go to my knees and I will beg for you to get the money. Sure thing. I'll beg for you. I'll beg for anything. Just don't give me trouble. I'll do it. Sure, right?
I will say this as Mama, which I can really like, I'll punch her in her face for this, man. who are you to buy a house without telling me?
Well, they were living in mama's house.
I get it. It's your husband's money.
It's
I
her
get
money.
it.
It's not her. It's
It
her
is
money.
that
It's her
point.
money now. They were living in her house.
I understand.
It was her things.
Yeah.
She
But
bought the
man,
house.
You gotta know, like you living like that's a family. That's your son's family.
And she
You know what I mean?
invited them to come over with her.
She did.
She told them, yeah,
Well,
come.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can say that, but like, look where they're living. Like, look where they live. You know what I mean? Look where they
also
bought
told
the
him,
house.
you're the man at the house at this point.
Do your own thing. You have
Yeah.
your life. You're
That
not
was
no.
after she bought it and then gave
Yeah,
him a
I
little bit of
guess.
pity
Yeah.
money.
But how many times has there been talk about Walter having to man up and stop being such a baby and like be
That
self-sufficient,
whole
right?
family's messed up, to be honest.
Most families are.
You can't, man. Like,
It was
I
a
would say
modern
this.
family. It was a family everybody can relate to. That's
blindly,
I get it.
I think blindly you can look at the family and be like, oh my god, they had so many conflicts and they solved it
Like,
and they did
that's-
this and this.
Everyone goes
But
through
like,
Yeah.
as we're talking about it, you can look into it and be like, that was bullshit.
Yeah.
A lot of things they do with bullshit, and it's not right. It's
We,
not
we
cool.
can say that now, but this was back in what was it, the 70s?
Yeah,
60s?
exactly. Yeah.
But these
Hindsight
ethics still
2020,
apply.
right?
These
Yeah.
ethics will still
Yeah.
apply. These ethics will always still apply. These principles don't go away just because of times.
But
Like,
can you tell me you have not done anything in your life that isn't bullshit? That you can look back now and say, "Oh, I shouldn't have done that. That's so stupid.
Yeah.
That's the most bullshit thing ever." And that
You can't
never-
because we all have.
hindsight's always 2020. They were
But
living
when
in
you're
the moment,
at that
right?
age, it's like at that point you should learn, think before you
it's just
act,
35.
right?
That's why I'm saying he's
Like
not
you
at
don't go
fault.
to your mom just gave you money, like, hey, save some money for your sister so she can go to college because that means a lot to her. And like, yes, mom, I will do it. And you spend the money anyway. And she's like, why'd you do that? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, really? You're
Desperation.
35 and you're doing that? Like, what the hell's wrong with you?
They're desperate. Desperation, you can't think clearly.
Yeah.
Man,
Asking
okay.
someone to think clearly in a desperate situation where his whole life he's seen himself as a failure, asking him to say, yeah, I want you to use reasoning
Well,
to
that's
not
why
do
Mama's at fault. Why would she trust her son when he's at such a starved
She's
state?
trying to let him grow up, to let him live.
Yeah, but that's really. I think that's not a good excuse for anything. Because look, here's the. Oh, here I'm giving. And look, you can like argue with this little example I'm giving, but okay, here I go. My son. No, sorry. We'll even go like this is a real world thing. School shootings. Adults, super responsible. Give them shotguns. Kill all the shooters. Problem solved. No, that's not problem solved. And look, I get it. Mama,
There'll be guns, there'll be bullets flying in all directions. All directions. If we have guns in schools, the guys with guns will never come to schools. In reality, neither will children, but
Yeah.
But that's the thing,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
I can look at Mama like that, and I really can, and I agree with you on that. I can look at Mama like that and say, like, look, man, who deserves to have a gun, bro? I don't think anybody deserves to have a gun. Nobody deserves to have the power to take somebody's life back quickly.
again, this is in Canada. We are not liable to the Second Amendment of the Constitution.
Yes, we
Yeah,
are.
well, there's so much shootings here still, right?
There are, but
Like, it's not that hard to get a gun in Canada, man.
it is.
It
Right?
really isn't.
Yeah,
and,
play
and,
that song.
I can literally relate it like that. Like, Mama, what's going on in your head? You give this money.
Well,
to
she
this
didn't want to
Trump
give
kid.
him the money. She wanted to put the money into savings, but out of pity and her being a mother, she wanted her son to be happy. So, out of the fault of being a mother
I
and
feel
so
like
loving, she trusted her son to do
She
her
should
job.
have.
This guy was
She
at a
should've
bar and he
made-
was drunk.
Yeah,
Most people
that-
are.
Most
and-
people are though. That's the thing.
So
she
what?
should have made some sort of
So what?
consequence. Like, okay, I'm gonna give you this money, but if you mess up, like, you're gone.
that would
Leave.
change-
Like,
that
I don't
would-
want you here at this home. If you mess up when I'm giving you this chance, you're gone from the
But
start.
that would mess up the mentality. That would make it to him look like, oh, this is another like mom to son thing. What she was doing was trying to say, here is an adult job. You're an adult. Do this adult job. Good job. I love you. I trust you.
Well, hold
Go
on.
for it.
But you shouldn't.
What do you guys think? Like,
The point that we're trying to make is that trust was so blind and so ridiculous.
Yeah.
There was no reason to
So there
trust him.
shouldn't be that much trust in the family then.
It's like
No.
that's like
He
going
didn't
to
show up
someone
to work.
who's drunk and be like,
I
I
just-
trust
he
you
didn't
to
show
drive
up to
this
work.
car
That's what I
and
just
drive
said.
me home.
It was different times though, right?
And what? And what? He's drunk. He's a drunk man. Does alcohol affect you differently back then than now? You cannot see straight. You cannot think straight. You know, and one of the biggest things, it's true. People say, like, when you're in those desperate moments,
Sorry.
we had technical difficulties.
Yes.
And-
Anyway.
Where we leave off?
I feel like that money that mama gave him, like she would actually spend the money just to see her son who was down for so long and down in the dumps. I feel like she would have spent that money to see him that happy. Which mother wouldn't do that?
okay.
A loving mother would do anything to see
I
her
don't know
child
why
happy.
she gave him Beneatha's money. That was the
That's-
dumbest
that's-
thing
yeah.
in
we
the
can
world.
agree,
That's a
on
big
that. We
thing.
can agree on that.
man, I think it has to do with the male thing. He's a male, she's a female.
Okay, yeah.
There's something with that.
Okay.
You know there's an equality.
On
It's just the way
Yuri's
it is.
point about why she gave him the money, I'd have to say it's the one scene where he goes, "You want me to be happy, but you have destroyed my dreams."
I get it.
Again, we can kill anyone that we want just by using words, especially if we know the person.
That hit for sure.
So I think that was her trying to make peace, and the only reason I can argue
She was
or
just-
understand why she was giving beneath it, I want to trust you with someone else's money as well, but I still don't think that was smart.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was distraught, right? Yes, she was under influence, but in a way, she was too. She was distraught. Emotionally, she was torn apart. Her son is basically cursing at her for ruining his life. He is in tears. He looks like his life just was thrown out,
Okay,
right?
it wasn't a hot emotional breakdown. He
Right.
just looked like he was dead inside, right?
I'll say this.
But-
I'll say
yeah.
this
Just
thing. Okay.
defeat.
Here's
You
one
think
point
it'll
I want to ask. Are you justifying what she did? Are you saying like, oh, like, well, obviously she had to do it because of this? Or are you saying it's the reason that she did it?
Hindsight 2020, she shouldn't have done it.
Right? Good.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
that's what we're trying to get at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we're trying to get at is she was not justified like in what she did.
But
Yeah.
everything
But
else
that
she
is the
justified.
reason. That
That's
is,
why we've been saying like the whole thing
Yeah.
is flawed.
yeah, that is the reason she did it.
Yeah.
And we don't agree with it. But she has no justification at all. Like that's ridiculous. And that's crazy what she did.
Yeah.
She did it basically purely emotionally.
Yeah. Like any family will
That's
do
why-
that, right? That's the idea of this,
Yeah.
right? It was built to be to reflect a modern family.
Depends on the family.
You can
Okay.
close that off.
Some families be like,
I'm gonna
Walter,
be
get out.
honest. I don't really want to talk about Godot.
I completely agree. Let's just
I
go
love Bruno. I love
Right
Bruno.
to the next
Let's talk about
Get a knife.
There's not too much to talk about.
There is so much to talk about.
There is,
Come on.
okay.
Let's talk. We have to involve.
Okay,
You know what? You two, you can talk about it.
I like
You guys.
Okay,
Oh,
so-
we got three.
We'll talk about it 3.
We got 3. Got 4. And got 5. Okay.
I'm not
Okay.
saying
I said nothing.
the main
I did
thing,
not agree to this.
Get a knife.
the main thing that I understood from Godot is just
Wait,
the fact that it's
Godot.
pointless is the point.
Are you
Yes,
gonna-
exactly.
There's no
are you
point to
gonna-
it other than it is pointless. That sounds like a
It's-
paradox,
it's-
like a contradiction, but still, it's like
And it reflects
It's a-
everything we do.
yeah, it's
Everything we do. We can reflect it to anything.
exactly. It's
Everything
the
is
whole,
pointless.
The play is a reflection on our lives. It's like imagine
And everything. Everyone's
If you went up
lives.
to someone who thought everything was
Guys,
pointless
guys,
and you're
guys.
trying to justify to them, oh, my life's important, they'd be like, dude, you're just
Guys,
you're stupid.
Are you gonna wait for Godot, or are you gonna dry up like a raisin in the sun?
Seriously,
Write your own poem, Eric. Write your own poem.
Right, the camera's working, right?
Cut it out.
No, we're keeping that.
Yeah, we're
We're keeping
putting
that.
it in. Still recording.
We're keeping that.
Write your own poem, man.
But I mean, like,
It just flat out. It was interesting. That's all I saw.
it was a tear. I hated the read so much.
Okay.
I wanted just to burn that book when I was reading it.
I loved reading it only because I was reading it to someone else. And the
Oh, so
I
you had to
loved-
make them suffer.
Oh
with you.
god, I love that. I love reading it because they were like, "What the hell are you talking about?" You know, Lucky's speech.
Oh my
I didn't
God.
take one breath for that. I just went off. And oh
How are
my
you
god,
still
the
alive? That
reaction-
was like 5 pages or something.
Oh, I felt like it was
Wait,
good.
does Lucky's speech mean anything? I don't think it does. I
No,
think it was
it's
a bunch of random nonsense to piss off the reader purposely, saying, "Yeah, a bunch of random nonsense. You're gonna spend time."
It's the white
Yeah,
noise of the
yeah.
world. It's all pointless. It's all jumbled up.
Facts.
Like, if you find
Exactly.
one thing, you could probably find like
In-
2 words. Like, oh, it means something. But
For
the
the
rest
editor,
of it, anyway,
Waiting for Godot.
waiting for those.
It's a banger.
It's pointless.
No.
But that's kind of the point, right?
It's meant to piss people
it's
off.
like
Because
I
it's
feel like
true.
that
Hold
play.
up.
It's just a mirror,
I just
a
searched it
really
up.
warped mirror.
There.
So it depends on who's looking
like,
at it.
symbolize how, like, I guess, is their meaning because like,
What?
in a way, because like, does the quote like does that whole entire like speech
Mm-hmm.
have meaning just like the play?
Okay.
Well, okay, I don't know. The way I interpreted that speech, it was like if you like read like 2 words, like you could probably think, oh,
Wanted
this,
to jump off a cliff, yes.
Yeah, okay.
okay. It's like a little far.
If you found
Jesus
2 words and put them together and looked at nothing else, like, oh, maybe there's meaning in this, but all of it together, it's like it's just like white noise. Like,
Banana fractions.
And if you waste,
Yeah,
if
exactly.
you waste
That's
enough
the thing,
time,
right?
you can make sense out of it. You
I
can
don't
make your own
know.
sense.
That doesn't make any sense.
I feel like it's kind of a representation of the oddity and the just the ridiculousness of the world. Because let's say you had a speaker that heard what everyone's saying in the world, right? There's probably some meaning in like 2 words, and when you hear it all together, it's like, what the hell are you guys talking about? You guys sound like lunatics, like in an asylum, just scratching at the walls for no reason.
That's life.
Well, that's the thing. That's why I feel like the special thing about Waiting for Godot is just a really disgusting mirror you're looking at, and it depends on who's looking at it,
Yeah.
right? Like if you're someone
The
who like
truth
rebels,
hurts. The truth
who
sucks.
rebels
The
in
truth
the
hurts.
absurdity,
should hurt.
And this
But-
hurt you, did it not?
But-
Did it not hurt
depends on
you?
the person.
That's an idea.
Did it not hurt
No.
you?
Yeah,
It hurt
The
you.
truth should hurt.
That's an
But they aren't giving us anything about fucking life.
They're giving you a me. They're giving you you.
That's the thing.
It's,
No.
You are pointless. We are pointless.
There's 3 ways to look at it. You read Waiting for Godot and you're like, screw yourself. There's a point to life. I'm not waiting for nothing. I'm waiting for good what I want to wait for, and I'm gonna achieve it. Or you can be like, oh yeah, life is pointless. This is stupid.
Yeah.
Or
Looks better.
you can just say, yeah, I get it. Life is pointless, but who cares? It's fun, right? That's like
Exactly.
that's
It has nothing
accepting
to
the
do with life.
absurdity.
It
To
does.
live, you need
Wait.
purpose.
No, you
Even
don't.
if it's up to
Whoa, who said that?
well,
Look, to live, you need purpose. You can go through the entire world
And
going
your purpose
forward.
is looking for purpose.
Purpose is very subjective. Your purpose can be, I want to live because I want to live.
but no.
Yeah. Or I want
If
to
you
know
just
why
go
to
around
live.
every day going
have
the
you
same
read-
routine, the same routine.
Have-
Shut up, let me talk. You too. You go up every day. I have seen it happen. You don't remember when the day ends. You don't remember when the day starts. Every day just looks the same goddamn cookie cutter bullshit.
Yeah, well,
That is not living.
Why is
okay.
Why do you want your life to be easy? Life should never be easy.
They're
depends on the
waiting for
person.
Godot. Look how dry and boring it is. They bore themselves
They
with
know
useless
he's not
facts.
coming.
But their purpose is to wait for him. They don't care that he exists or not. Like us, we're waiting for something. Our purpose is to look for purpose.
But that's what I'm saying. It really depends on the person, because like what he said, it's like, that's not living. That's what I'm saying. Like you read that and like, no, that's BS. This is BS. There's point to living. Make your
Living.
meaning. Live it.
I could make the entire thing waiting for Godot. If they just change one word, I would be perfectly fine with it.
What word?
Waiting. No. They're waiting for something that they know will never happen. If it was looking for Godot, then they're out doing something.
Well, that's the thing. That's a different interpretation of it. Like you're looking at it, like there is point to life, and if it is looking for Godot, that is you're searching for meaning in life. Like meaning's not given to you. Yeah, search for it. And if it was looking for Godot, that's exactly what they'd be doing. They're searching for purpose in
Something.
what
In-
seems to be a meaningless world. But what it portrays, what it shows, is like what it presents is like, no, it is pointless. You're waiting for nothing. Go screw yourself. And reading that's like, all right, I see how.
okay, well, how do you look at plays then? Do you look at plays in the truth is what you think the truth is, or the truth is what the play is? Because the truth is what the play is, and what you think of it, it has relevancy to you, but it has relevancy to nothing else.
There's objective truth and there's subjective truth.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, objective. Like, if you want to say it's objective truth, then we're gonna talk about what the play actually is, and that's what the debate really is about. I'm not saying you guys aren't talking about anything right or wrong, but I think the discussion really should be what is the play about, and not what do I think.
It's in the
play
title.
and what the subjectiveness is for me.
Well, the play is about waiting for something that we don't know what.
That's subjective because that you're putting meaning
Okay,
to the
yeah,
play.
What
And
is
the
play
base
then?
form is literally the title. They're waiting for Godot, and it's
That's
about
it.
what happens when they're waiting for Godot. That's all it is about.
But
It's
what-
just when you read it and then
That's
you
what
put meaning
happens.
onto it.
I'm asking what it means.
That's what it means.
Didn't someone ask the dude who wrote it, what does it mean? And he's like, I'm not telling you.
Yeah,
But like,
no,
there's
But
no
I'm saying-
meaning.
but okay, but like, okay, here's the thing. You can say that, but like, same thing with like film studies, bro. That's like what happens. I'm asking what it means.
Yeah.
And
Okay, if you ask what it
means-
means, you're gonna get a subjective answer.
What
the
it
only
means-
objective answer you will find is if you ask the author himself and he tells you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But you can still
Even
search.
then it isn't because it's what he
You can
thinks
still-
is what he wrote. It,
But here's the thing:
Well,
we can
also
still
subjective.
talk about it,
yeah.
and we
To
can
a
still
degree.
come to a conclusion on what the objective truth is, because there is always going to be one objective truth. And even though he says he doesn't know, or he's not going to say it, the point is we find it. What author is going to tell you? Oh well, I wrote this story about greed, and it's about greed, and this is why it's about greed. And I'm going to give you a whole little essay on why it's about greed. No one's going to do that.
The closest.
We have to find it ourselves, and we have to find that objective truth, and that's the point.
If someone gives everything to you,
The usual suspect.
it's no purpose.
The usual suspect.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, right? And that's why you have to look for it. Nobody's going to tell you. Nobody's going to say why. I'm saying this discussion right now
And again-
is about why. What is the objective truth? Not what you think. Not what you think.
The
oh, we don't
closest
know the
thing
truth. What
to
is it?
objective truth anyway for Godot that I feel like a lot of people just agree on is just like it's about the pointlessness of life. That's what he's trying to portray, right? If Godot is a dream or like a thing you want and you're waiting for it constantly, it's pointless, and that's the pointlessness of life.
True.
That's the closest thing I think would be the objective
it can be the
Truth
it's the point
of
the way
play.
it's the things being pointless of anything. You put in what you want to be pointless of your work, of politics, of life, right? It's pointless of blank. You fill in the blank. That's just a subjective part.
And the subjective truth is what you take from it, I would say, right?
Yeah.
Because if you read it, like,
Yeah.
oh, the point says, what do I think about this? Like, what does it make me feel? Do I reject it? Do I accept it? Or do I love it? Right?
Or hate it.
So then
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that, folks, was the three-man part of the podcast segment with the host.
Cool. Nice. The last thing we're going to talk about for heroism is, are there heroes in the world? And if they are, why? And if there aren't, why not? That's a pretty good question.
I had this analogy when we first did the reflection at the beginning of the year.
I did that before.
My analogy was this: an apartment building. So let's just start off with basic 3 floors. I think I did something like, okay, so 3 floors. Top floor was a bunch of like old elderly people who couldn't leave their apartment. Middle floor just parents. Bottom floor just kids that are always full of energy, getting into trouble. The hero would be someone on the middle floor, the parent. So you know what? I'll make a program. All the kids with full of energy will run and get newspapers and bring it to the 3rd floor. So problems are solved. Elderly people who are bored now get newspapers. Parents who are stressing about their kids don't have to stress because the kids are not going to be getting into trouble. They're doing something good with their energy, right? Now let's add more floors onto it. Let's add a 16th floor. Now 16th floor is going to complain that it's a problem because every time they go to their floor, kids are running by them and like knocking into them by accident, right? That's going to be a problem from them. The 15th floor is going to say that they're too loud. The 14th floor is going to say that there's a newspaper all over the ground now, right? So on the 13th floor, one person makes an organization that tells the kids, don't do this anymore. So there's a conflict now, but they're separate heroes. And I feel like in our world, there's so many floors. You know,
I think just
Okay.
the analogies are not,
Okay.
analogies are not
Okay.
supposed to be that long.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
That's
so,
a story.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is not an analogy.
There's heroes.
Here's my story.
I feel like if there is heroes, the society we live in the society we live in, we won't see them because we don't really care
Well-
about them anymore. Sure, we'll look at a fireman, a policeman, a soldier. You're a hero, but we don't know that person, right? Like I always said to myself, if I don't know where I'm going in life, I'm gonna join the military. So while I'm there, maybe I'll figure something out. I'm not gonna join it because I want to see the lives of my fellow Canadians. No, I don't care. It's for myself. I feel like a lot of people go into this business for themselves. Sure, there's gonna be some heroes, but you don't know them.
That goes
Right?
into my idea for what the reflection was. I took the more classic version. A hero is someone who's willing to sacrifice.
The
for
reflection on
something.
what? What was the topic?
Beginning of the year, we did a reflection
Can
on
you
what
guys
was the hero. What,
be a little specific.
I'll try to find
What was the quote or whatever you said?
knowledge in the palm of your hand.
Just so we know.
heroic time.
We're all talking about.
Oh yeah, heroic times have passed away.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll
Okay.
put that up.
For me, mine
Yeah.
was.
I agree with that, by the way. That quote.
I do, yes. My thing is, are there heroes today?
Yes.
By my definition, people willing to sacrifice? Sure. Just go into any battlefield that Canada and other peacekeepers from the world have been in.
Yeah.
My problem with that is, even if they drag their fellows out of an IED attack in the middle of a desert or something, the reason that we're there, the reason that we are in that desert, half the time it's because we want this from the locals.
Yeah.
We want this. So their heroic acts, their sacrifices, and their deaths, they're tainted.
Yeah, it's not done for the greater good of humanity. It's done for selfishness of that country they belong to. And it's also like, sure, you can like go into like a group of soldiers and find that one person who's like, I'm doing it for my loved ones. I'm doing it for all American citizens. That person, definitely a hero. He's doing it for selfless reasons. But it's very hard to find that person. And I don't feel like a lot of people go out of the way to find those people. And it's like the world we live in now, we don't value heroes like we used to. Sure, like, oh, we do value heroes. Look, we love the Avengers. Oh, the firefighters. Look at those heroes.
Exactly.
Right? It's like, no, that's not technically, like, sure, they're selfless in the movie, but we like the idea of the hero. We like the show of a hero, but
If
we
that's what
don't
we
want
see
to
the
be a hero.
definition of a hero is people with superpowers, people greater than ourselves.
Exactly.
Who was hero?
Yeah.
Like
We don't live in the society that we want to become heroes anymore. We just want to live for ourselves. Like, I'm not going to go into this business because I'm doing it for my neighborhood. I'm doing it because I want money for myself.
Yeah,
We are our own hero.
Money's becoming like more.
Well, that's the
We live in a
that defeats
capitalistic
the
society,
point.
but let's
That
not get into
defeats the
that
point of a
you need
of a
business.
hero.
You know.
I'll
Society's
say
changing.
That's
this
why
is
heroes are obsolete now.
Communism sells.
I'll bring something. I was talking to my brother about this, and here's what I concluded to. The main reason we cannot find heroes in our society, we cannot definitively say what an iconic hero is, it's because of relativism. And the main reason I say that is because in the idea of relativity, I can have an issue and someone else can have a contradictory issue, right? I'm not saying relativism is good. This is why I think it's bad. I can define a hero as anything I want, because it's relativity, right? It's relative to me, and someone else can see him as a hero, right? And it's so conflicting that we can like villainize anything.
Yeah.
We can villainize everything, right? But then what's a hero?
Well,
I can also make anybody a hero.
exactly, right? You can turn a serial killer into a hero. Like, oh, they're killing all these politicians. It's like, oh, what a hero.
Charlie Manson.
That's why
They killed all these rich people. We the downtrodden did this.
That's
Exactly.
that's
And
why
people see him as
I
hero.
literally-
I don't.
Exactly.
I can see it as such a relative problem. And was there ever heroes? Was there ever, any public figures who were really amazing to the world? I think people were very amazing to the world. But I also think as one man rises, one man must also fall. Someone has to fall, and that person who falls had followers. Because nobody's gonna fall for no reason. No, I'm not gonna kill an innocent civilian. And be like, oh, that guy had a family, that guy had ancestors, he had a lot of things going for him. And that guy who killed him, no matter what he did, you're gonna think of him as a villain. Heroes have passed. I don't even think there was heroes to begin with. It's hard to say no. It's just because, and it's a hard thing to accept, just because of how relative it is, of how relative you can assume it to be.
In order to make that distinction, like, did heroes already exist? You kind of need to like throw away relativism and define what the hell is an actual hero. Like for me, I've always held true that it's someone who does everything selflessly. They do it for others, the good of humanity in general, and not for themselves. Like the closest thing I have to hero, in my mind, in the past would be, correct me if I'm wrong, horrible with names and times, would be Abraham Lincoln. Because
Lincoln.
because he's like
13th Amendment.
Exactly.
Civil War. Yeah.
Exactly. For the good of humanity, those are people, freedom.
You should
Right?
maybe heroes should suffer a bit before like they get.
Well, yeah.
Obviously,
There's no doubt like heroes gonna suffer because they're not doing anything for
But
themselves. They're
that's
open
just a
to
consequence
attacks.
of what's going on.
Like eventually
they
they
have
can get
to.
back up there.
A hero needs to know a mid-ground.
They don't.
They can't be so selfless that they suffer and they end up destroying themselves,
here's the
right?
thing. Heroes
Look at
don't
Jesus.
heroes don't have to suffer, but it just so happens they do because it's a consequence.
Yeah,
of what's going on.
it's a byproduct of
Yeah.
what they're doing. They're not
What
doing anything
happens-
for themselves. They're
yeah.
open to everything. Like look at Jesus. That may be a little controversial. Did he even exist? Like, don't look at Jesus for other things, atheists and stuff like that. But if you look at Jesus, like, objectively, that's a good person.
Yeah.
The idea of Jesus, the way he lived, that's a hero. Everything for others, not for himself. Died for everyone, not for himself.
Is a hero just an idea then? If we all have all these stories, they're ideas, and they're based off
No,
another
you
idea.
can't. Someone can be a
depends.
hero. It's just that no one wants to.
Someone can be hero.
Like, you could have a hero.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
Replay that.
Like someone could be a hero to you, but like not to another person.
That's the thing. That's a subjective hero,
Well,
right?
what I'm
I
saying
can
is just a
say
hero
What's an
will
objective
exist.
hero then?
Do we
that's what I'm
just
saying.
assume it
To me,
exists
an
and try to
objective
find
hero
a
is
close thing
someone
to it?
they're 100% selfless.
Yeah.
But then and you know what the thing is then? I think really one thing that has to be taken out of the definition, especially even in class, is the idea that like everybody has to like you. Like people have
Yeah.
to like
You don't have to
No.
like it
because
to be a hero.
that's not a thing. It can't be a thing. It's not possible. Then it isn't possible.
Then
There
Hitler
has to
was
be
a hero for the German.
Oh, you-
Because
Of
there
course,
has to be a
He
point.
brought up their
There has to be a point where we lay down ideals that cannot be taken down, like taking a life, right? You
Yeah.
cannot fucking take a life to be called a hero. It can't work.
So you're telling me if someone
You
someone
can't do
killed
any
Hitler,
evil
would
act.
they be a
I would
hero?
say.
What'd you say?
If someone killed Hitler, like right now, a time machine was invented, someone back in time and killed Hitler. We hear about it now. Woohoo! Hitler's dead. He died. and He didn't kill all these millions of Jews. Would that be a hero?
Not
then?
just Jews,
You-
Catholics.
Catholic-
He's
oh,
not
yeah,
a
that's
hero.
my bad. Yeah,
You
he's not.
should not have
Yeah.
the right to take away human life.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying.
He's not. That person wouldn't be a hero because they didn't save everyone. They didn't save Hitler. Because to save Hitler, if you had a time machine went back,
Bro,
you'd go to him as
here-
a kid and
here-
prevent
here-
him
here's
from
the
becoming
argument
who
I'll
he
say.
was.
This is
You
what I'll
can
say.
make
Okay.
him a good person.
Exactly.
This is what I'll say, honestly, and I'm not saying you can't deny me, I'm saying fight this argument. You can't say, I want to end killing by killing the killers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. And I'm saying this too.
Ooh, yeah.
If you, right? And that's really what I'm saying, like,
Like
if you're saying this whole Hitler thing, then you cannot kill
You know
Hitler.
the-
You can
wait.
imprison him, you can hold him
Yeah,
bondage,
the
but
seven deadly
you cannot
sins.
kill him.
Yeah.
You're building a wall with cracks, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, you're building this wall, like, oh, no killing, but I want cracks so I can kill
Yeah.
for justifiable
Because then,
reasons.
that literally comes into like, okay, I want to have the power. Like, okay, the power is, the rule is no one can kill, but me, because I'm the most just, and I decide who dies. You do not have the right to
Because then you could say John
I don't have
John
one thing
Doe.
going on.
Is he a hero?
Oh yeah, and seven.
7, but let's not talk about that.
Yeah, that's
My thing is, one of the people that I love seeing as a hero, someone that Mr. Friedis has mentioned in his class, King Leonidas, Battle of Thermopylae, 300.
Died for his people.
If not for his people, he died for Greece. He died for, okay, history time.
Yeah.
The main reason.
Who have a jingle?
Anyways, where was I? Thermopylae.
time.
Yeah.
History time. The reason that most of the Spartans did not want to go and fight the incoming Persians is because right between the line of attack that the Persians would have to go, the city-state of Athens, who Sparta has been in constant conflict with.
Yeah.
If the Persians came in and wiped out Athens, the Spartan leaders would be fine with that. Except Leonidas. He went to the people, he defended the people that he hates by killing the people that would have killed them. 300 men held up against millions for 3 days, and had they not been betrayed, would have almost certainly lasted longer.
Was it
Are you
100 a day?
We will never know. But
I don't know. To forgive
If
your
a hero
enemies takes a
can't-
lot of guts.
if a hero can't kill, does that mean King
Okay.
Leonidas isn't a hero?
Okay,
Because I think that is wrong.
I think
There's-
because he died, he became a hero.
I will say this.
That's true.
Yeah.
There are
His death
scenarios
for
of logic, and there are scenarios of reason. And okay, this is really a little sort of off topic, but I'll give you a scenario of logic. People always fight about abortion and this, abortion, that. And one thing people say, I think it's ridiculous. They say, okay, there is a scenario, I don't know what it's called. Someone can look it up. Somebody. So it's basically when the fetus, or like, you know, the child, it has to be born, like immediately, but it will die. And if you don't, the mother will die with the baby as well. But the child cannot live. It's something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
The child will die both ways, but if the
Yeah.
child is born and then dies, the mother will die too.
No,
Yeah,
no, no.
like,
If you
let's
leave
say
it, like if
If the baby like gets born, they both die.
No.
Or-
It's if you don't. Oh my god, I don't know the specific scenario, but okay, basically, it's either one or two. Basically, either one person dies or two people die. Basically, right? And the way people say, because like this is what the thing is. The point is, the only way for the mother to live. Oh, what's that? That's the wrong button. It's good.
We'll just
We're
cut
back
from
with-
Harry on that.
Yeah.
Okay, going back. The only way for the mother to live was to abort the baby. That was the only way. Or if you like let it or whatever, both lives are ended. Right? It's something like that. It's true.
Yeah, yeah.
There's something on it. I
I
don't know
feel
what
like
it's
the
called.
best way to live righteously for the majority of humanity in general, you want to maximize the amount of human lives you can
Yeah,
save.
but here's the thing. The thing is, people will say this. They'll say, "Oh, abortion."
Kill us all then.
People
Oh.
say, "Oh, pro-choice,
It's a different
pro-life."
But like also,
And
like,
for people who are for
Yeah.
people who are pro-life, they'll say, "Oh, well, you aborted the baby in that scenario, so it looks like you're no longer pro-life." But here's the thing: that is not a scenario of abortion that is reasonable,
it just has to.
because that's a scenario of logic, and that's what I'm trying to say, right? And to a certain point, I will say there is a reason to kill, but then you oppose a scenario of logic. And can we define a scenario of logic? Yes, we can. In that scenario, it's definitely logical. Like, yes, you have to abort the baby to save the life of the mother, or else both of them die. Who would do that? That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Even if you are pro-choice, that's ridiculous.
You're just
You're
like,
gonna, to prove a
weird.
point, are you gonna let them both die? No.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous, right? That's ridiculous. And that's why I can say easily, like, there are states of logic. And I don't know too much about Leonidas, whatever he did. I watched the movie.
Yeah.
But
It's just
You have a copy of it, I
maximize the
want
amount of
to.
human lives you can save. I feel like that's if you do that, you're a good person.
yeah,
like there's
there's always
times when
some
you
times for
have to.
utilitarianism.
there's times that you like.
Okay. Heroism is important, but at the same time, we have to all be heroes. and something that I think a lot of people need to hear. And I'm not going to get this quote perfectly, but it's by a certain revolutionary. The guy I can't remember the name of right now. I usually can. We'll have it in post. When a government violates the rights of the people, it is the citizens' duty and every portion of the citizens to rise for insurrection. Insurrection is the most sacred of rights and indispensable of duties. That was a very bad quote. I know I got the end of it right. So,
Nice.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
listening.
This has been The Hall, and this is the podcast on
It's our
drama.
first
Subscribe to
podcast,
Beauty Pie.
everybody. Hope we did good.